Hi, I'm CJ from 11 News. Well, Australian biosecurity experts have released a raft of bizarre items seized from travellers at our borders and in mail. And just a warning before we begin that some are a little disturbing. Department of Agriculture, Water and the Environment's Colleen Eiser is here to tell us more. Colleen, welcome to 11 News.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So run me through some of these items that you've shared photos of. Some are extremely bizarre.
There are indeed. There's some very weird and wacky finds that we've seen come through the border lately. Obviously, there's the mummified pig fetus is a very interesting one. And it's not something that we would see every day, but unfortunately, these things do come through.
So what do you know about the mummified pig? Where did that one come from?
I'm not too sure, to be perfectly honest, where that one's come from, but it has arrived into our borders and our lovely officers at the front line have intercepted it and stopped it from entering the country.
And what about the one with the teeth? What on earth is that?
Again, I don't know what someone was thinking when they brought that one in. It looks very weird, and I'm not too sure why they would want to bring that into the country. But obviously, someone's thought something of it and has tried to bring it in. But again, it's the weird and wacky things that come through the borders that are very fascinating.
Are the teeth real?
I'm not too sure about that. I would hope not. Hopefully they're just dentures placed inside that rash.
What kind of countries are these coming from? Is it China, Vietnam, Thailand? Where do you see most of these weird things coming from?
There's a lot of different countries that these things are coming from. And unfortunately, it is coming from a variety, including China, Vietnam, a number of other places as well. And unfortunately, we're here at the border just to make sure that we stop letting those things come in.
And there seems to be a lot of taxidermy that gets stopped. What's the risk of bringing in something like that?
There's a number of pests and diseases that can come in on taxidermied items, and we need to make sure that they don't come in. So say, for example, the mummified pig fetus, for example, that one is a high risk for African swine fever. And while we don't have that in Australia, we want to keep it that way. So we will stop those items from coming in.
And lots of freeze-dried quails as well. Are they meant to be eaten or...?
Again, I'm not too sure what the person on the receiving end does with those goods, but those products, the quail eggs in particular, there's a higher risk for avian influenza. So again, something that we don't want in the Australian border.
And what kind of punishments are people looking at with items like this?
There's actually quite hefty punishments at the moment. If you're found at the border with these items with you, the fine is currently $2,664, which is quite hefty compared to what it has been in the past. There's also imprisonment, as well as if it's imported goods, $1.1 million fines.
So how many packages have been intercepted recently?
Well, yeah, in the last couple of years, there's been a few. From January to June in 2020, there was something like 60,000 items intercepted at our borders, and a hefty percentage of those were actually seeds.
That's really surprising with the pandemic going on as well. You'd think less travellers and less items being seized on the borders.
Yeah, you would think so, but we do still have passengers coming through into the country. But more often than not, because of the lockdowns, people are buying things online. And while they might not be aware of what it is that they're purchasing, what they should be looking at first is purchasing from Australian companies, especially things like succulents. You don't need to order and buy succulents from overseas. There are plenty of Australian companies that can supply those to you.
It's not only these weird things like taxidermy and deer genitalia that you see, you also see a lot of seeds and plants and fruit and things, don't you?
We do, and that's at both the international airports and the international mail environments.
So are these coming from passengers or through the mail system?
So we've got a mixture of both. So even with COVID, we still have hundreds of passengers coming through the border each day. And our frontline staff there are making sure that every one of those people are intercepted if they are carrying something. And likewise at the mail, our dog teams, X-ray and the officers are all on the front line making sure that things don't make it into the country.
Now, if I was overseas and I did have a beloved stuffed baboon that I wanted to bring back, is there any way to get it back?
Look, my best advice to you would be to jump onto our website, the biosecurity.gov.au, and have a look. There's a whole lot of import conditions that you'll need to meet, but all the information is on there, and that's the best spot for you to go.
Some people even lose their visas over this kind of stuff as well. It's that serious.
Oh, definitely. So we don't want people to be sorry. We want people to declare it. So don't be sorry, declare.
Colleen, thanks so much for your time, and no thanks for putting me off my lunch.
Sorry about that.